The scion of Harbour City's elite has a fondness for women in Qipao. I have an excellent figure and look exceptionally beautiful in Qipao. After my family went bankrupt, I was sent to Harbour City to settle debts. The young master of Harbour City, Ethan Zhou, detests me. He refuses to even see me. He sent me a message telling me to back off. I already have someone I like. Don't waste your time on me. Simultaneously, his assistant handed me information about Ethan Zhou's beloved. Looking at the photo of a girl in a modern-style Qipao, smiling brightly, I fell into deep thought. This was a picture taken of me during a trip to Harbour City in my university years.
Welcome to listen to my full sweet love series novel. I'm the blogger and I'm Twilight's novel. Now let's start the main story.
The profile began with an introduction to Ethan Zhou's personality. It stated Ethan Zhou is aloof and never gets close to women. 5 years ago, he suddenly fell for someone. Love at first sight. Below that introduction was the photo of me, taken during that university trip to Harbour City. The photo was shot from inside a car. I stood in the music square, glancing back with a smile. It had the feeling of a hurried traveler catching a fleeting, breathtaking glimpse. Assistant Jack said, "The private investigator could only find this much. Now that we know who Master Zhou's beloved is, should we warn her?" I asked calmly. "How would you warn her?" Jack rolled up his sleeves. "Give her a lesson." "Oh, don't you know assault is illegal? The talent my father left me was truly as foolish as he was. My father was a third-generation heir. He squandered the prosperous Lin Corporation. Now he's left with a mountain of debt," Jack said indignantly. But young Master Zhou is extremely dissatisfied with the engagement. He's argued with his family for days. He issued an ultimatum. He'd rather die than marry you. He even defied old Master Zhou, moving out of the family home directly. I nodded faintly. "I see. Miss, the Lin family may be bankrupt now, but we were once a top-tier elite family in Jing City. You don't need to humiliate yourself like this. Should we return to Jing City and plan how to repay the debt? Our home is gone. How can we repay debts?" My fingertips gently brushed over the bright smile of my younger self in the 5-year-old photo. "No rush," I closed the file. "Did you find out Ethan Zhou's schedule for today?" "He will go to Cloud Summit Tea House for tea this afternoon." "Book a table at Cloud Summit Tea House for me. Not a private room, the main hall is fine." Jack was puzzled. "You plan to approach Master Zhou yourself? But he dislikes you intensely." "I'm not going to find him." I stood up, gazing down at the bustling cityscape from the hotel window. "I'm simply going for tea, to enjoy the scenery. And incidentally, let the scenery come to me." Jack looked utterly confused, scratching his head, but complied. Jack was once an enforcer. He was beaten near death by enemies when my father saved him. Since then, he served my father loyally. After the Lin family's decline, only he remained. A bit slow, but fiercely loyal. "Miss, it's booked." "Understood." I went into the walk-in closet. I chose a halter-style, moon-white Qipao. I loosely pinned up my hair with a pearl hairpin. The elegant Qipao revealed my fair shoulder line. Coldly beautiful yet stunning. They say you shouldn't meet someone too dazzling in youth. If you don't end up together, they become a measuring stick against whom everyone else falls short. But what if the measuring stick is the white moonlight herself? After dressing, I arrived at Cloud Summit Tea House. The tea house was filled with the misty aroma of tea. All furniture was made of high-quality rosewood. Even the main hall seats were semi-enclosed with screens for privacy. Truly a tea house favored by Harbour City's elite, possessing real style. My seat was positioned along the path to Ethan Zhou's private room. "Soon," Jack texted. "Miss, Master Zhou's car has stopped at the entrance." I turned off my phone screen and took a sip of tea. "He's here." Through the screen's gap, I clearly saw the tea house doors opened respectfully by the attendant. A tall, straight figure entered the main hall. The man wore a deep gray suit. His steps were steady, radiating the detached air of someone long accustomed to power. His strikingly handsome face drew glances from everyone in the hall. "So handsome, that's young Master Zhou, the Zhou family's only son." "Have you heard? The Lin family from Jing City went bankrupt and sent their daughter here to settle debts." What kind of woman is that Lin daughter? Master Zhou would never fancy her. She should look in a mirror. Exactly. Look at Master Zhou, frowning, in a bad mood. Probably annoyed by this whole thing. Ethan Zhou walked straight ahead without glancing sideways, heading for his reserved room. I lifted my teacup, sipped calmly, eyes downcast. I counted silently in my heart. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps. Ethan Zhou passed by my table. His peripheral vision caught my profile. Just the side view, that fleeting glimpse, visibly startled Ethan Zhou. He halted mid-step. As he turned to look at me fully, I leaned back in my chair. The screen perfectly obscured my face. From Ethan Zhou's perspective, only the tea table and the long legs visible beneath my Qipao, crossed at the ankle, were visible. Ethan Zhou stood frozen outside the screen. His knuckles whitened slightly. Perhaps it was his first time initiating conversation with a woman. His deep, pleasant voice emerged, sounding uncharacteristically nervous and flustered. A stark contrast to his usual cool aloofness. "Hello. May I see you?" When I didn't respond, he added politely. "No offense intended. You resemble a friend. I wish to confirm." Quite a cliched approach, sir. I slowly rotated the porcelain teacup in my hand. So cliché it's uncomfortable. "You cad." Ethan Zhou hadn't expected a refusal. Nor had he expected to be called a cad. After all, with his looks, figure and family background, women usually threw themselves at him. Rejection wasn't just rare. It was unheard of. Whispers spread through the tea house. Master Zhou, always so aloof, actually initiated conversation with a woman? Is this still the unattainable woman-averse young Master Zhou? I'd love to see the woman behind that screen. She must be stunning to make him approach her. The word cad seemed to physically sting Ethan Zhou. Humiliation flushed through him. No one knew he genuinely wasn't flirting. He truly wanted to confirm if I was the one he'd sought. But to outsiders, to me, someone he thought unaware, his actions did appear like clumsy advances. After a moment's silence, Ethan Zhou clenched his pale knuckles. "Apologies." That was abrupt. Then, Ethan Zhou did something that shocked everyone. The famously gentlemanly heir actually reached out and pushed aside the obstructive screen. The air seemed to freeze. As the sliding screen was halfway open, just as my face was about to be revealed, Ethan Zhou's phone vibrated insistently in his inner jacket pocket. The persistent ringtone signaled either a family call or a company emergency. He took a deep breath and pulled out his phone to check the caller ID. Frowning deeply, he turned away to answer. "What is it?" I leaned forward slightly, observing Ethan Zhou's back. His frame was tall and straight. The broad line of his shoulders and narrow waist, accentuated by the tailored suit, resembled a bowstring taut with restrained tension. My fiancé was even more handsome in person than in photos. 189 centimeters tall, perfectly proportioned. Even his back was captivating. "Grandfather, I told you I won't marry that Lin girl." The person on the other end seemed to compromise. "Grandfather isn't forcing you to marry the Lin girl. Old Mr. Lin and I were comrades in arms years ago. I thought, since the Lin family is bankrupt and owes our Zhou family $1 billion. If his only granddaughter marries into our family, becoming a Zhou daughter-in-law, the debt could be forgiven. She wouldn't suffer hardship later. Since you disagree, I won't force you. Your marriage is your decision. But since you stormed out, your grandmother scolds me daily. Come home quickly." Ethan Zhou's previously irritated tone brightened. "Understood. I'll move back in a few days." On the other end, Mr. Zhou still seemed hopeful. "That Lin granddaughter. Are you sure you won't meet her?" "I've seen the child myself. Intelligent, outstanding looks. Wore a Qipao, graceful figure, spoke with poise and grace. Exactly your type. I guarantee you'd like her." "Meet once? I bet you'd fall for her afterwards." "No," Ethan Zhou refused flatly. I said, "I have someone I like." "Fine." Old Master Zhou sounded resigned. "Then I'll inform old Lin's granddaughter to return home. Since you have someone you like, bring her home to meet us. You're 27. It's time to settle down." A faint, unconscious smile touched Ethan Zhou's lips. "I think I've found her." Found who? Nothing. Grandfather. I have things to do. Bye. Ethan Zhou turned, smiling. But the space behind the screen was empty. The chair was vacant. Ethan Zhou scanned the room frantically. A man hoping to curry favor with the Zhou family snapped photos of me leaving. His dedication rivaled that of a paparazzo. Front view, side view, back view, 45-degree angle. No angle was missed. After returning to the hotel from the tea house, Jack said, "Miss, the Zhou family called." Jack paused. "They said the engagement is off. They want you to return to Jing City." Expected. Damn it. This is too much. Jack couldn't hold back. This is utterly unacceptable. "Miss, what do they take you for?" "Just say the word. I'll stuff that bastard Zhou in a sack and beat him senseless." "But miss," Jack's tone shifted to curiosity, "what exactly happened between you and Ethan Zhou at the tea house? Why did old Master Zhou cancel the engagement right after you met? Did that bastard Zhou disrespect you? Did you hit him?" Jack sounded almost excited, as if hoping I'd taught the lofty heir a lesson. "I didn't meet Ethan Zhou," I said calmly, removing earrings at the vanity. "I told you I was just having tea, enjoying the scenery." "And," I shot Jack a look, "never call Mr. Zhou a bastard again." "But miss," Jack's voice rose, indignation barely contained, "what do the Zhous take us for? We come when they call, leave when they say go? Why?" I placed the earrings in the jewelry box, replying lightly, "Because the Lin family owes the Zhou family 1,000,000,000 yuan. How much?" I ignored Jack's shocked stutter. After a moment of silence, Jack's voice lowered. "Then, I'll book our return tickets to Jing City." I stood up, walked barefoot across the carpet, and sat on the sofa. "Don't book tickets. We're not going back to Jing City. Pack our things. Check out. Rent a small run-down apartment here in Harbour City." Jack looked at me bewildered. "The marriage is off. Why stay?" I looked out the window at the neon-lit, decadent cityscape of Harbour City. It felt like a hunting ground. This cat-and-mouse game needed an upgrade. I said quietly, "I saw the scenery today. Now the scenery is coming to find me. How can I leave?" Jack scratched his head. "Miss, I often don't understand what you're saying." "You don't need to understand. Just do as I say. Move tonight." Hearing movement outside the door, a faint smile touched my lips. Surprisingly fast. Ethan Zhou's people had already tracked me down after the tea house. I deliberately raised my voice. "Jack, we can't go back to Jing City. If we go back now, Father will kill me." Jack was stunned. His mind flooded with confusion. Father adored me, spoiled me rotten. He would never hit me. As Jack opened his mouth, I pressed a finger to my lips. "Shoo." I continued. "I have no money now. We can't afford this 5-star hotel anymore. Go rent a small place. We'll move soon. Jack, I'm sorry you have to live in a dump with me. I'm an orphan, a nobody from the streets. When I was nearly beaten to death by enemies, you walked by. You told your father to stop the car and save me. I know all that." Jack, a tough-talking, straightforward guy, didn't understand my act. He thought I was genuinely broke. "Miss, before, I wasn't even worthy of following you. After the Lin family fell, all your previous protectors left. The master told me to follow you. I was happy. Miss, I'm not afraid of a shabby place. I never had roots anyway. Wherever you are, Jack, that's my home." "But miss," Jack protested, voice thick, "you shouldn't force yourself into a hovel." He handed me a bank card. "This is my savings. All for you. Tomorrow I'll find a job. I won't let you suffer." I pushed the card back. "Jack, you earned that money the hard way. I can't take it." I gestured for Jack to come closer. He bent down. I whispered, "I need to live in a poor area. It serves a purpose. Don't ask questions. Just do as I say. And Jack, we will return to Jing City. Sooner or later. I will restore the Lin family. We'll go back together." Harbour City's market was vast. Restoring the Lin family required money, connections, and power. This Harbour City market? I needed a specific person as my springboard. Jack's efficiency was always high. He rented a tiny, run-down top-floor apartment in the old district as I requested. Below were street food stalls. Drunken curses in Cantonese drifted up from the alley. The cramped apartment smelled of damp and mold. "Miss, wait on the balcony. I'll clean up before you come in." "No need to clean. Leave the luggage outside. Now, hire some thugs. Pretend they're debt collectors causing trouble." Soon, Jack brought 3 rough-looking men. I leaned against the doorframe Jack had wiped, watching their performance. "Damn it! Don't take the easy way. Pay up now." Jack glanced downstairs hurriedly, then rushed over, looking flustered. "Miss, that bastard Zhou's car is parked down below." "How did he find us?" "He would come. He found me today because I deliberately left the tea house early. I knew someone took my photo." When Ethan Zhou saw that photo and recognized me as his long-sought white moonlight, his power in Harbour City meant he could track me down quickly. Returning to the hotel, I noticed a tail. So I deliberately told Jack I was broke. Before, he hated me. He wouldn't look at my profile, wouldn't grant a meeting. Now, learning that the unwanted fiancé is his cherished memory, forced into poverty by his rejection? When someone already occupies your heart, adding guilt intensifies everything. Love is most alluring when it's almost real. Obsession deepens in the soil of regret. I wanted his guilt, his remorse. The move from the tea house to the 5-star hotel, then to this dump, the fake debt collectors, it was all a carefully crafted hardship scenario for Ethan Zhou. I told Jack the beloved in the file was me from 5 years ago. Jack suddenly understood. "Miss, this tactic, in our circles, it's called a pig butchering scam. You must pay today," the thugs shouted menacingly. "In Jing City, maybe someone would stand up for you, be your backer. But here in Harbour City, who dares be your backer? If you don't pay today, I'll kill you." The sound of leather shoes on the metal stairs grew louder. I signaled the lead thug to slap me. He raised his hand, putting full force behind it. I pretended to be scared, closing my eyes. The gust of air from the swing passed my ear. A pair of strong, elegant hands clamped onto the thug's wrist. Then, a cool, deep voice rang out. "In Harbour City, I am her backer." I slowly opened my eyes. Ethan Zhou wore a high-quality black shirt. His legs were long and straight. Compared to the suit at the tea house, he looked less business-sharp, more effortlessly noble. Under the street neon, the black mole on his collarbone looked both restrained and enticing. His captivatingly handsome face was sheened with sweat. He must have run up the stairs. He released the thug's wrist, pulled a handkerchief from his pocket, and wiped his hands. "How much does she owe you?" 1 million. Ethan Zhou didn't even blink, as if hearing 100. He took out a checkbook, filled it in, and tossed it dismissively at the thug's face. "Take it. Get lost." "Wait." I motioned for Jack to retrieve the check and hand it back to Ethan Zhou. "Apologies, sir. I don't know you. Why pay my debt?" Jack, channeling his inner drama king, spoke sharply. "Miss, this is Ethan Zhou. The very Zhou heir who screamed about canceling the marriage. The Zhou family who summoned us from Jing City with a word and dismisses us with another." I looked calmly at Ethan Zhou, whose face flushed crimson with shame. "You are Ethan Zhou?" Meeting Ethan Zhou's clear eyes, I saw a tumult of emotions. Joy, embarrassment, shame, remorse, all tangled together. The strongest was the heated thrill of finding his beloved. "I'm sorry. This is my fault. I apologize. He tried to explain. I cut him off, taking a deliberate step back. Ethan Zhou watched me retreat, a flicker of hurt in his eyes. "Mr. Zhou, thank you for stepping in. But I can't accept the money." My voice was soft, gentle, yet carried a clear boundary of distance. "I will find a way to settle the Lin family's debt. The engagement with the Zhou family is void. Now you and I have no connection." The phrase "no connection" hit Ethan Zhou like a hammer. He rushed to explain. "It wasn't me who cancelled it. It was all my grandfather's doing." Ethan Zhou, known in business for his ruthless decisiveness and icy calm, now stumbled over his words, lying clumsily. Yes, my grandfather. He insisted on breaking the engagement. I knew nothing about it. Right. Him. After learning the truth, I was heartbroken. His actions were truly excessive. I reprimanded him severely. But I took out my phone, opened the message he sent me. You sent the text saying you had someone you liked, telling me not to waste my time on you. Ethan Zhou froze. His handsome face paled slightly with panic. He swallowed hard, seeming ready to drop the act. That was also my grandfather. He stole my phone and sent it. I am very satisfied with you. No dissatisfaction whatsoever. It's all a misunderstanding. Our engagement stands. My grandfather realizes his mistake now. He sent me specially to beg for your forgiveness and bring you home. Watching Ethan Zhou spin this tale, pinning everything on his hapless grandfather, Jack stifled a laugh beside me. Ethan Zhou looked around, taking in the greasy street food smells and the dilapidated building. His eyes filled with self-reproach and deep pain. His beautiful beloved, his white moonlight, reduced to this? He probably just thought, I deserve to die. Come home with me first, all right? His voice was soft, his posture humble. My eyes reddened slightly. A single tear traced down my fair cheek. No, Mr. Zhou. I don't want to go back and be humiliated. Ethan Zhou looked at me, dressed in the simple Qipao, tears glistening. His handsome face showed helplessness and profound regret. He looked ready to give me anything. If you don't want the family home, I have many apartments. Seaview? City center? I'll arrange it immediately. Sophia, it's not safe here. Waiting for my response, Ethan Zhou seemed to hold his breath, terrified I'd refuse. With others, he might have ordered them moved by force. With me, he didn't dare. The performance had served its purpose. Ethan Zhou knew his rejected fiancée was his beloved. Goal achieved. I wouldn't refuse his offer of shelter, nor explicitly accept. I pretended to faint, letting him decide. Ethan Zhou rushed forward, catching me before I fell. I landed abruptly in his warm embrace. He smelled comforting, a cool, woody, faintly sweet cologne. In the VIP hospital room, Ethan Zhou asked the doctor urgently, How is my wife? Mr. Zhou, please remain calm. Your wife is fine. Just exhausted lately. Low blood sugar. She fainted. She's on an 4 drip. She'll wake after resting. Ethan Zhou exhaled deeply in relief. After the doctor left, he sat by the bed. He gently took my hand, pressing it against his cheek, rubbing it almost greedily. So your name is Sophia Lin. No wonder I searched all of Harbour City and couldn't find you. You were in Jing City. You might not believe it, but I've liked you for a long time. 5 whole years. Now I've finally found you. If the Lin family hadn't gone bankrupt, if our grandfathers weren't old comrades, you wouldn't have come to Harbour City. We wouldn't have been engaged. Birds in the sky and fish in the sea find joy despite mountains and oceans. And we met 5 years ago. Fate arranged this meeting. Sophia, from now on, I will make it up to you. I will cherish you. I will make sure you accept me. Ethan Zhou suddenly stood up. His cool scent drew closer. Then, soft lips gently covered mine. He carefully kissed my forehead next. 5 years. I waited painfully, Sophia. For now, consider this interest. I hadn't expected the outwardly noble Zhou heir to be like a lurking creep, stealing kisses. After he left, I opened my eyes and texted Jack to come in. Where did Ethan Zhou go? He asked about your preferences. I said you liked peace and quiet. He has a villa in the suburbs. Went personally to decorate it to your taste. Miss, I don't understand. How can someone remember a stranger seen just once, for 5 years? The one you like at first sight is the one you like for a long time. Love at first sight isn't just attraction. It's a unique feeling that person gives, a feeling absent in others. This feeling isn't about time. It's a destined pull from the soul. Irreplaceable. I don't get it. You don't need to. Will Ethan Zhou really provide connections and resources? He will. I glanced towards the door. His submission isn't a choice. It's the rule I set for him. The next day, Ethan Zhou picked me up from the hospital. He had already moved my luggage to the suburban villa. He handled everything personally. Ethan Zhou was extremely astute. The broken engagement had displeased me. To avoid further annoyance, he maintained a respectful distance. After dropping me at the villa, he left. His assistant arrived moments later, presenting a bank card and documents respectfully. Miss Lin, this card has no spending limit. Use it as you wish. This document is the villa's transfer deed. It's already in your name. You are now the owner. Please reside here peacefully. I gave Jack a look. Jack took the card and documents. I said softly, "Show our guest out." Jack held the card and papers like hot potatoes. "Miss, this." I knew what Jack was thinking. "Jack, you want to know why I accepted?" Jack nodded. "Have you heard of the sunk cost fallacy? The more he invests, the harder it is for him to walk away." "I don't understand. Mississippi, shouldn't we avoid spending Zhou's money? Isn't he testing you?" "No. We must spend." I went to a high-end Qipao boutique in Central. I chose the most expensive fabrics. When the clerk quoted an astronomical price, Jack gasped. I didn't blink. I swiped Ethan Zhou's card. I ordered several custom pieces and bought some ready-made Qipaos. I stood before a mirror, adjusting the collar of one. This pale white, high-collared Qipao hugged my figure perfectly. The slit hinted at my ankles. It accentuated my bust and slender waist. "I'll take this one too." In one day, I spent extravagantly. When Ethan Zhou received the bill, he wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled fondly. During a meeting, he stared at his phone, zooming in on a photo his assistant had covertly taken. In the photo, I was in the Qipao shop. My dark hair was pinned up loosely with a jade hairpin. My face looked both delicate and stunning. He zoomed in and out repeatedly, a besotted look on his face. "Sophia looks beautiful in Qipao." His assistant muttered beside him. "Could she not? One Qipao costs half my annual salary." After the meeting, Ethan Zhou seemed to remember something. He instructed his assistant, "Go acquire a few shops in Central for Sophia. She looks exquisite in Qipao. She'd be perfect for owning a Qipao shop." Back at the suburban villa, Jack frowned at the stack of documents on the table. "Is that bastard Zhou crazy? Just because you look good in Qipao, he buys you a dozen prime Central shops?" Ethan Zhou didn't just give shops. He included detailed market analysis reports and a professional operations team. Each shop already had a hired manager. I needed to do nothing. Just name the stores. "Jack, Mr. Zhou isn't crazy. He understands me very well. Do you know what I studied?" Jack answered without thinking. "Fashion design." Jack finally got it. "That bastard is catering to your interests." I nodded faintly. After consideration, I named the stores using initials from my name and his, LZ. On the LZ boutique opening day, Ethan Zhou handled all the flower arrangements. They practically filled several streets. Harbour City's elite, knowing the Zhou heir valued this store, flocked to show support. Everyone wanted to see the beauty who inspired such extravagance. But I did not attend the opening ceremony. I had talent in fashion design, but it was just a hobby. If my designs brought fame, great. If not, it didn't matter. My focus wasn't on the boutique. I had bigger plans. The Lin family was in pharmaceuticals. Harbour City's annual pharmaceutical summit was approaching. Before that, I'd quietly acquired several failing pharmaceutical firms at low cost. This summit gathered industry giants and top investors from the Asia-Pacific region. I held the core technology for a gastric cancer-targeted therapy drug, passed down from my grandfather. I aimed to attract investment to restore the Lin family's glory. That was my goal. But in my current position, I couldn't even get an invitation. I pondered how to get one, unaware of how late it had gotten. Jack glanced at the sleek black car parked discreetly outside. "Miss, after the boutique opening today, Master Zhou rushed over. He's been waiting outside for over an hour. Will you see him?" Ethan Zhou's recent conduct was model suitor perfect. Restrained, attentive, impeccably polite. He never imposed, but anything concerning me, he handled personally. I knew he was waiting for me to soften, lower my guard, accept him. Ask Mr. Zhou to come in, I instructed, rising from my chair. I smoothed the silk of my ivory robe as I retreated towards my bedroom. If Mr. Zhou inquires about my absence today, I added, pausing at the doorway, tell him I felt unwell. Understood, Mississippi. My mind churned with plans for the summit, leaving little room for social niceties. Feigning sleep seemed the easiest path to avoid conversation. Moments later, Ethan Zhou's voice, laced with concern, floated from the living room. Sophia is unwell? Has she seen a doctor? Jack replied dutifully. Miss said she was merely fatigued and needed rest, sir. I heard Ethan's hurried footsteps approach my door. He pushed it open gently, saw me seemingly asleep, and lowered his voice further. Have the housekeeper prepare some restorative tonic broth, he ordered Jack softly. Closing the door behind him, Ethan moved silently to my bedside. As he leaned over to adjust the covers, the strap of my silk robe slipped from my shoulder. Pale skin and the subtle curve beneath were exposed. Ethan's breath hitched audibly. He raised a hand, tendons standing out on the back, and tugged restlessly at his tie. His gaze lingered on the unintended revelation, tracing the line down to the soft swell hinted beneath the fabric. In the quiet room, his breathing grew distinctly heavier. His throat worked as he swallowed hard. He bent lower, his presence a warm weight nearing mine. My own breath stalled. What was he planning? Another stolen kiss? The heat of his fingertips brushed my bare shoulder. Carefully, almost reverently, he slid the silken strap back into place. Then, instead of retreating, he sank to his knees beside my bed. His touch returned to my cheek, a feather-light caress that held both reverence and aching restraint. Sophia. His voice was a husky whisper, laden with a frustration I hadn't heard before. What am I to do with you? He remained there, kneeling, his gaze tracing my features as if committing them to memory. Long moments passed in the quiet intimacy of the dim room. Finally, he reached into the inner pocket of his suit jacket. He withdrew something and placed it softly on the nightstand beside me. Then, without a sound, he rose and slipped from the room. The soft click of the door signaled his departure. I opened my eyes. Turning my head, I looked at the object on the nightstand. A thick, cream-colored cardstock, edged in gleaming gold foil. My heart skipped a beat. It was an invitation. To the pharmaceutical summit. A complex knot of emotions tightened in my chest. Surprise, wariness, and a grudging respect. Ethan Zhou, Harbour City's untouchable scion, was proving far less pliable than I'd anticipated. He knew. He knew I wasn't ill. He knew I was feigning sleep. He knew my absence from the boutique opening was calculated. He knew my mind was consumed with ambition, with the summit. He'd seen through my act from the very beginning, perhaps even from that first encounter in the tea house. And instead of confrontation, he had placed the very key I needed directly into my hand. The message was clear. He chose to be my pawn. He offered himself willingly on the chessboard I'd laid out. 1 week later, I stood on the stage at the pharmaceutical summit. Clad in a sharply tailored pantsuit, my dark hair pulled back into a severe low knot. I presented the core technology of the gastric cancer-targeted therapy with clinical precision. My voice was clear, my logic impeccable as I outlined the drug's market potential. The audience comprised CEOs of pharmaceutical giants and sharp-eyed venture capitalists. Their expressions flickered with interest, but mostly reflected skepticism and calculation. A genuine breakthrough in gastric cancer treatment? That was the enticing hook. But an unproven therapy presented by a bankrupt heiress? That, to them, reeked of theoretical fantasy. They understood the staggering potential. Affordable, effective treatment could revolutionize the field, save countless lives. But potential, without substantial backing and rigorous validation, was merely words. Predictably, no immediate offers materialized after my presentation. Instead, lowball bids surfaced, attempts to buy out the core technology for a pittance. I declined each one with a cool, professional smile. Selling out was not an option. Not only were the offers insulting, but handing the technology to these profit-driven entities would guarantee astronomical pricing, turning life-saving medicine into an unaffordable luxury, a grotesque commodification of suffering. It would betray my grandfather's dream, the very purpose of this endeavor. I didn't know if the future held more ethical pioneers in medicine. But I was determined to blaze that trail. To forge a path towards accessible, effective treatment for those ravaged by disease. The hesitation in the room was understandable. A bankrupt entity offered no security, no safety net for their investment. The Zhou Group invests. A low, resonant voice cut through the murmuring silence from the back of the hall. All heads turned. Ethan Zhou, impeccable in his tailored suit, stood. His long fingers rested lightly on the back of the chair before him. He rose with deliberate calm, his movements unhurried, commanding the room's attention as he walked towards the stage. Stopping beside me, he extended his hand, his gaze locked on mine. "Miss Lin," his voice was smooth, carrying effortlessly. "Might the Zhou Group have the honor of a partnership?" I met his eyes, a genuine smile touching my lips as I clasped his hand. "The honor would be ours, Mr. Zhou. Your recognition and investment are deeply appreciated." He leaned in slightly, his warm breath ghosting over my ear as he murmured, too low for the audience. That presentation was compelling. Ethan Zhou's endorsement, the weight of the Zhou name, acted like a detonator. Investors surged forward, offers suddenly abundant, hands extended eagerly. The ensuing hours became a whirlwind of unavoidable schmoozing. At the evening reception, glasses clinked, toasts were proposed. Ethan Zhou moved with practiced ease, intercepting glasses meant for me, deflecting attention, navigating the social currents with masterful diplomacy. Amidst the clinking crystal and polished conversation, I secured signatures on contracts, partnerships forged under the glittering chandeliers. Jack stood discreetly behind me, leaning close. "Miss," he murmured, concern lacing his voice. "Mr. Zhou seems significantly affected." I glanced at Ethan. His profile was taut, knuckles white where he gripped his own glass. A sheen of sweat glistened at his temples. He looked distinctly unwell, yet when another glass was raised in my direction, he summoned a smile and drained it without hesitation. "Miss," Jack persisted, his voice low, "Master Zhou avoids these functions. His tolerance is limited. If this continues, medical intervention might be required." I retrieved a credit card from my clutch, handing it to Jack. "Settle the bill," I instructed. "Then book a private lounge. Ensure our guests are thoroughly entertained." Jack pocketed the card swiftly. "Understood, Mississippi. I'll handle the festivities. They'll leave satisfied." I called Ethan Zhou's personal assistant. "Please escort Mr. Zhou to his car." After ensuring the evening's remaining obligations were delegated, I made my way downstairs. Outside, beneath the hazy glow of a street lamp, I found Ethan. He had shed his jacket, crouched unsteadily on the curb. His assistant offered a bottle of water. Ethan rinsed his mouth, wiped dampness from the corners of his eyes. His voice when he spoke was raw. "Sophia?" he rasped, scanning the emptying street. "Where is she?" The assistant sighed, a sound of weary resignation. "She had me bring you down, sir. Nothing else. Don't expect her to manage this too. She won't." Ethan managed a strained, humorless chuckle. "Little ingrate. Uses me and throws me away. All that care. Wasted." The assistant's tone sharpened with frustration. "Sir, it's obvious. When she looks at you, it's not affection. It's calculation. Ambition. You knew she was using you the moment we traced her from the tea house. Yet you walked right into her carefully laid trap." Ethan exhaled, the sound shaky as he pushed himself upright, swaying slightly. "Perhaps," he conceded, his voice thick with alcohol and something else. "But at least I still hold value for her." I stepped forward, my heels clicking on the pavement. He turned and seeing me, his eyes bloodshot and weary, ignited with a mixture of surprise and desperate relief. "I knew it," he breathed, a ghost of his usual composure returning. "She wouldn't leave me like this." I moved to his side, taking his arm to steady him. To his assistant, I said crisply, "Give me the keys." "You're dismissed." The assistant blinked, startled. "Ma'am." He looked to Ethan for confirmation. "The keys," Ethan commanded, his voice regaining a sliver of authority, tinged with impatience. "Give them to Miss Lin. Now." The assistant, chastened, quickly relinquished the keys. Helping Ethan into the passenger seat, I leaned across him to fasten the seatbelt. Our proximity was unavoidable. I could feel the heat radiating from him, smell the sharp tang of expensive alcohol mixed with his usual clean, woody cologne. My gaze swept over his face, the sculpted jawline, the high cheekbones flushed with drink, the long lashes shadowing eyes that, even clouded, held an unsettling intensity. The mole on his collarbone seemed darker against his heated skin. He looked devastatingly, unfairly attractive. We held eye contact for a beat too long. I pulled back abruptly, walked around the car, and slid into the driver's seat. Damn him, I thought, gripping the steering wheel. Even like this, he's ridiculously beautiful. The car glided towards the Zhou family estate. Throughout the drive, Ethan's gaze remained fixed on my profile. It was a tangible weight, unwavering and intense. As we pulled up to the imposing gates, the Zhou family steward recognized me. Seeing me support Ethan as he stumbled from the car, the man scurried inside, presumably to alert the patriarch. Old Master Zhou emerged swiftly, leaning heavily on an ornate cane. He took in the sight. His grandson leaning heavily against me, his head resting against my neck. The old man's eyes, sharp and assessing, lit up instantly. "Sophia, child," he exclaimed. "What brings you here with this reprobate?" The term reprobate seemed to cut through Ethan's fog. He straightened with some effort, stepping towards his grandfather. He gripped the old man's arm, pulling him aside. I caught only low, urgent murmurs, Ethan gesturing emphatically. He returned, slinging an arm possessively around my waist, leaning his weight into me again. I opened my mouth to explain simply that I'd driven a drunken Ethan home. Before I could speak, old Master Zhou blurted out, his voice suddenly thick with contrition. "Sophia, my dear. It was all my fault. This foolish old man insisted on breaking your engagement. I see the error of my ways now. Blame me. Don't blame you. He had nothing to do with it. Nothing." I didn't correct him. Exchanging a few polite pleasantries with the flustered patriarch, I attempted to extricate myself. Ethan, however, tightened his grip on my wrist. He turned those wounded, vulnerable eyes on me. "Sophia," his voice was rough, pleading, "stay. Please. My stomach. It's killing me." Old Master Zhou seized the opportunity. "Quickly. Quickly," he barked at the steward. "Take master and young mistress upstairs to rest. Immediately." I found myself practically propelled up the grand staircase by the efficient household staff. A maid deposited a bowl of sobering broth and a set of silk pajamas in my hands before vanishing, closing the door firmly behind her. Ethan collapsed onto the massive bed but refused to release my hand. "Don't go," he murmured, his voice thick. "Please stay." His other hand pressed mine flat against his abdomen, beneath his rumpled shirt. The warmth of his skin, the taut muscles beneath, were startlingly intimate. "It hurts." I sat on the edge of the bed. Gently, almost automatically, I began to rub slow circles over the tense area. "Better?" I asked, keeping my voice neutral. He sighed, a sound of profound relief, his eyes drifting shut for a moment before opening to fix on me again. "Much," he murmured. "Just stay. Don't leave." He repeated it like a mantra. I brushed a lock of sweat-dampened hair from his forehead. "You need rest. Take a warm shower. It will help." He lifted a hand, extending his little finger with surprising solemnity. "Promise? Swear you won't leave." "Don't be childish," I chided softly. His expression crumpled, genuine disappointment flashing across his face. Against my better judgment, I linked my little finger with his. "Fine. I promise." His lips curved into a small satisfied smile as he pushed himself off the bed and shuffled towards the ensuite bathroom. He emerged later, damp-haired and clad in soft grey silk pajamas. The water had cleared some of the fog, leaving him looking weary but more himself, effortlessly elegant, radiating an innate, slightly rumpled nobility. By the time I finished my own ablutions, exhaustion weighed heavily on me. The day had been long, the emotional toll significant. I sank into the plush bed, hoping for oblivion. Ethan, however, had other ideas. His hand, initially tentative, settled on my hip. Then his thumb began to trace slow, deliberate circles over the sensitive dip of my waist. A shiver I couldn't suppress ran through me, drawing a soft, involuntary gasp. Emboldened, his arm tightened around me, pulling me flush against the hard warmth of his body. His breath, hot and heavy with an unfamiliar potent desire, feathered against the nape of my neck. "Sophia." His voice was a low growl vibrating against my skin. "I'm done playing the gentleman." He turned me forcefully onto my back, his weight settling over me. His eyes, dark and molten, locked onto my lips. "I need to kiss you," he stated, the words thick with intent. "May I?" The next morning, before dawn fully broke, I slipped from the bed. Every muscle protested, a dull ache radiating through my lower back. I dressed hastily and fled the Zhou mansion, returning to the suburban villa before Ethan stirred. Back in the quiet sanctuary of the villa, Jack noticed my preoccupied state immediately. He handed me a glass of water. "Miss? Are you all right?" Memories of the previous night flooded back. Ethan stripping off his shirt, revealing shoulders impossibly broad, a torso sculpted with lean muscle. My own surprising loss of control, my arms winding around his neck, pulling him down. The way the world dissolved into fragmented gasps and overwhelming sensation. I felt heat rush to my face. Anger at him, at myself, flared. I slammed the water glass down onto the table. "I slept with Ethan Zhou." Jack's eyes widened comically. "You? What?" He recovered quickly, his expression shifting to pragmatic reassurance. "Ah, well. Sleeping with a man happens. Mississippi, perfectly normal. If you don't want responsibility, entirely understandable." He surely provoked it. My fingers drifted unconsciously to my lips, still feeling slightly swollen. Images flashed, straddling his lap, the dizzying shift in position, his hands gripping my waist, the desperate, consuming kiss that followed. The heat of his skin against mine, sweat dripping onto my collarbone as he moved. The memory alone made my skin flush. I took a deep, steadying breath, forcing composure. As I reached again for the water glass, the doorbell chimed. Jack returned moments later, his expression bewildered. "Miss, Master Zhou is here." "And old Master Zhou." They both look eager. Ethan Zhou entered, followed closely by his beaming grandfather. Old Master Zhou practically radiated satisfaction. He settled into a chair and gestured imperiously. His steward stepped forward, placing a heavy stack of documents on the table. Property deeds, a contract outlining 5% of the Zhou Group's original shares, and finally, an exquisite box. Inside, resting on velvet, lay the Zhou family heirloom, an imperial-grade ice jade bangle, reserved solely for daughters-in-law. "Sophia, my dear," Old Master Zhou began, his voice brimming with avuncular warmth, "the engagement stands and clearly you and you share a deep affection. Let's choose a date to formalize the union. Today is auspicious. A perfect day for the registry." Ethan moved to sit beside me. He took my hand, his grip firm, his eyes searching mine with a potent mix of hope and anxiety. "Will you marry me today?" When I hesitated, his voice dipped, laced with wounded vulnerability. "You don't wish to take responsibility?" The implication, linking last night directly to this, combined with the watchful eyes of the elder Zhou, left me flustered. Before I could craft a coherent refusal, my mouth moved on its own. "Yes. Fine. We'll go today." "All right." Ethan reacted instantly. He pressed a fervent kiss to my forehead and swept me into a crushing embrace. Old Master Zhou clapped his hands, triumphant. Go. Go. Fetch the car. To the registry office. Immediately." Later, standing outside the registry office, the crimson marriage certificate felt surreal in my hand. Before I could fully process it, Ethan gently took it from me, tucking both booklets securely into his inner jacket pocket, close to his heart. Plans for a honeymoon were postponed. Jack and I returned immediately to Jing City. The investment secured, the real work of rebuilding had begun. After my departure, news exploded across Harbour City's social media. The elusive Zhou heir posted a simple photo. 2 crimson marriage certificates. Whispers followed. Ethan Zhou, it was said, was expanding the Zhou Group's operations into the mainland. All to be closer to his wife. 1 year later. Jing City. The Lin Corporation building relit its sign. The drug had passed trials. It was on the market. Returning late from the office, I paused. Ethan Zhou stood on the sidewalk below the Lin Corporation Tower. He was looking up, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit. His gaze was fixed on the massive screen mounted high on the building's facade. The screen played a video loop. A figure moved with ethereal grace down a rain-slicked, ancient stone alley. Clad in a misty blue-green Qipao embroidered with subtle silver thread, she held a delicate oil-paper umbrella. Her posture was regal, her hips swaying with a natural, mesmerizing rhythm. She glanced up, her eyes meeting the camera, a look both profoundly serene and startlingly vivid. The beauty on screen was arresting, unforgettable. A small group of young women clustered below, taking selfies with the screen as a backdrop. She's stunning. The Qipao silhouette, that waist-to-hip ratio. So elegant, yet so vibrant. Like a Jiangnan beauty stepped out of a painting. Did you know she's the chairwoman of Lin Pharmaceuticals? Brains and beauty. I'm a fan for life. This video was my reluctant contribution to LZ's new collection. The search for a model who could embody the collection's spirit had proven fruitless. In the end, I had stepped before the camera myself. The result, fueled by that unique, ineffable quality Ethan had once described, had gone viral. Ethan Zhou stood near the group of young women. His tall frame and striking looks drew glances, but his attention remained fixed on the screen. One of the women, emboldened, approached him. "Excuse me, sir?" she asked brightly. "Are you a fan too?" Ethan finally turned his head, a slow, warm smile spreading across his face as his gaze left the screen and settled on the woman. "No," he replied, his voice deep and clear. He looked back up at the luminous figure in the Qipao, his expression softening into something profoundly tender and possessive. "That," he stated, the simple words resonating with absolute certainty, "is my wife."